That's what I said.
We had some drinks.
I said what I said.
Okay.
No, but yeah. So it was like once it was like you told me, it was like me trying to figure out like how I'm about to get back. So it was like trying to, get to the airport, trying to, get back home and everything like that. So, but when you told me, I'm like, nah, that can't be true. Like, God ain't about to do that to us.
Hey y'all, and welcome back. My name is Summer, and this is my husband Devon, and we are the Constantly Growing podcast. So we've been together for 11 years, but married 3. So we know a thing or two about a thing or two. All right, so you can expect to laugh, to grow, and to evolve with us. Yes, you're going to evolve with us. This is a journey we're all going on, so we have more to learn. And today, I have my book out. As you guys can see on the screen, you might be able to see it on the table. Yeah. So it's called No Love. Ooh. It's called No Love Lost. And it's about us losing our first child. We have a beautiful rainbow baby now. Her name is Winter, joy of our life.
Shout out Winnie.
Yes, Winter, nicknamed Winnie. But before her, we had a son, and he is in heaven now. So,
shout out to the guy.
That was kind of awkward. You said shout out to the gang?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Like in this instance right now.
Shout out to my boy.
Oh, okay. You know what? Do you feel like you ever dealt with that?
No.
Yeah. I don't think so either. Remember when I told you, I was like, you got to talk about it. Like we talked. You talked to me about what happened, but you didn't go to therapy or anything like that. And you don't have to, I was grateful that you felt a safe space with me to express your emotions and share how you were feeling when you were going through your ebb and flow. But I remember telling you in the beginning, because I kept talking about it, and I went to therapy, but that was my process. That was what I felt like I needed to do immediately. And I was like, come on, like if you don't deal with it, it's going to chase you down and eat you alive. Do you feel like it did that at any point?
Like ate me alive?
Come on, I'm
dramatic, I'm being serious. I'm being serious.
But chase you down, like the emotions.
I feel like at one point, but I kind of just distanced myself.
Yeah.
That's what she was looking for. That's what she wanted.
That's the moment that I felt like it kind of chased you down, because it was like 3 months later, and it felt like after I kind of got past a phase of grief, then everything tumbled down on you. Like one day it just was different and you got like really distant.
Yeah, but I don't really, because I was kind of like, it was different because, you were home. Whereas like me, like it happened. My job, they told me like, oh, you can take as much time as you need.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the policy basically was if the child was, here or whatever, you would get your paternity leave, which was 6 weeks. But since, the child passed, it was like, oh, you get bereavement, which is 3 days. That was basically what it was.
Yeah, because you used like
I used
a leave bank or something.
Yeah, I used all my leave, and then like my manager, he told me like, oh, like you can submit for the leave bank, and then you put like as many hours as you want, and then like they'll approve it, and I guess people like donate to the leave bank. So I did that, but then it was like feel like I've been off for quite some time, and I was just like, I don't want them to start asking like, when you coming back in. Mm-hmm. And then when I had that conversation with my manager, he was like, yeah, I could see that kind of like, about to start happening. So I just went back into the office, and then I was just kind of like, I think I was off for it was like 2 weeks or something. Maybe like that, 3 weeks,
about 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, then I just went back to work, and it was like, what I'm saying, I was working, going to the gym.
Yeah,
this is kind of like pick back up on my daily life, but what I'm saying, you were different because you really couldn't do anything. Like your body had to heal, everything like that.
Yeah.
So for me, I was able to kind of like just continue my daily life, where it's like, you're at home and you're having to deal with, milk coming into your breast. Yeah. You're I like to say coochie. Healing and everything like that. So it's like, you're dealing with all that. Like, you're having to put ice packs and stuff down there. You're having to try to stop the breast milk from coming in and all that kind of stuff. Whereas, what I'm saying, like, mentally I'm dealing with stuff, but physically, I'm fine. So, me, I can't sit still for too long. Mm-mm. So I'm just like, I got to get out and start like moving around. Yeah. I think I sat in the house for like a couple days, and I was like, nah, I got to get out.
Yeah, you were definitely like, I got to get out of here. And I respect that. Like, I couldn't.
At the time, though, you were upset about it.
I don't remember that. So I was?
You were upset because you felt that I should have been dealing with it the same way that you were dealing with it.
I don't
because
recall.
when I used to like leave and stuff, you used to get upset. Like,
maybe at first.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. I could see that, knowing me, and back then, I've evolved a little bit more even since then. But like, I could see I probably did have a little bit of like, But I think through therapy, that's when I learned how to accept your process.
Okay.
And how to navigate grief with you, and realize that it is very different for everyone, and you may not, your process is just not going to look like mine. And through therapy, explaining like, what I would see you do, she helped me to understand or have a different view. And that's kind of what helped me to know what to do with you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when I saw you, because you were, thank God, my mom was there. So it kind of took a little bit of you could go to the gym or like hang out. Cause certain male friends came along to kind of like, it seemed like to me to support you a little bit more, like, okay, let's go do this, let's go do that, like, you know what I'm saying, just to kind of get your mind off of things.
Okay.
And with you going to the gym, maybe like that, I could see that being a little bit helpful to kind of exert some of that energy.
It ain't do nothing. I'm still gaining weight.
Oh my God, that's because you be eating them cookies.
But I think it was just because I was like going, but I'm just like, it was more so like something to do.
Okay.
So I may go to the gym. They might be playing basketball. I might sit in the gym like this, watch them play, just to like.
Okay.
No, I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
I might just sit there and just like.
Wow.
Watch, and it's like, just to be out.
Yeah.
Hear like laughter and see people playing around and joking around, because it was like at home at the time, it's like everything was just so somber. Like, you're not getting that.
Yeah.
And, I need that kind of interaction. Mm-hmm. So, but, what I'm saying? Like, I feel, also during that time, it still, like, brought us closer.
Oh, it did.
Even though, like, I was, like, leaving out and stuff like that. But I feel like sometimes with relationships, things like that can tear it apart.
And it didn't. It really didn't. I mean, our talks at night on the deck, and we would sit out there,
and I had me a little whiskey and a little cigar.
Did I have anything?
Yeah, you did.
Oh yeah, at the time I had my little joint.
Married to Joanna.
At the time, I was.
Shout out DC once again.
Yeah, and it's legal, but there, and we would just talk about it.
Yeah.
And what we thought every night almost. And we did a lot of grilling. We talked. So you talked to me even
right.
when you did start to like distance yourself. But when you got that phone call from me, because I don't think we even said he passed away via stillbirth. So I woke up one morning. You had went to go to your friend's book signing, and you were supposed to come home this particular day. Well, you were coming home this particular day in the evening.
Yeah.
But I woke up that morning just in a really like weird feeling. And I just went about my whole day. And my mom kept telling me, you should call your midwife. Like, you should call your midwife. And I was, or do you want to go? She would say, call your midwife. I'm like, no, I'm good. Or you want to go to the hospital? She just kept prompting at that. But my mom is always like, let's just check. You know, that's always the thing.
You're the same
I
way.
am. Well, I got it on this. But I just kept telling her, no, like everything's fine. But then when she got sick off of a wheatgrass shot, which is really weird. Like, how do you get sick off of a wheatgrass shot? And then we go home. I finally called she's like, call your midwife. So I did. And when everything she told me to do didn't work, and she told me to get into the ER or the EMT, call the EMT, the ambulance.
Right. Call 911.
Yeah. Because she told me that you'll get through the process a lot quicker. You won't have to wait into a room or whatever, the waiting room. And so that's what I did. And I'm literally not thinking that anything is about to happen, because, you know, I've gone to get checked before, and one time I was dehydrated and they gave me water and fluids, and he was fine. So yeah, I'm just not thinking, because we're nearing the end at this point. I'm like 33 weeks. Maybe 30. Yeah, I think it was 33 weeks going on 34 weeks. So I
don't understand the weeks thing.
Well, it's like about 8 months.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now we're on the same page.
All right. So yeah, getting to that hospital room, like, and then not being able to find that heartbeat, and then, you know, I had the moment that I had, and complete disbelief. Like I would have thought I was in a movie. Like, I remember like pleading with God, like please, like, I'll do anything, you know. I even like made a recording on my video, because I was like, I don't know if, like, a recording on my phone, because I was like, maybe he needs to see, like, I didn't know, just like thinking of like crazy anything I could do to make God believe that, like, I want this baby, you know, and like, this can't be the end. Like, you can create a miracle. And but then, you know, I had to call you and let you know. And what did you think, like, on the other line, you not being there, and all of this, which is detailed in the book, but for the sake of the, you know, I just want to know, what was on your mind?
So we've never had this conversation.
We haven't. And
so when you actually called, I was at a day party.
For real?
Yeah, I was at a day party.
So you was out partying, and I'm in the hospital.
But I didn't know until
wild.
You called.
Mm-hmm.
So when you called me, and then I didn't get the first call. Well, I didn't see it. But then I picked up my phone, and I saw your mom had called me too.
Mm.
So I'm like, something wrong. So I left. Well, I didn't leave. I went to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went to the bathroom, I called you back, and you answered. Like, people like upset because I'm in the stall on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, you know, I'm trying to hear what you're saying. And you're like, I'm on my way to the hospital. I'm like,
no, I called you. Oh, I did tell you I was on the way. But what I'm asking is,
what?
No, go ahead. I want to hear finish this.
Yeah, so you were like, I'm on my way to the hospital, and I'm like, what's wrong? You were like, the baby's not moving.
Okay.
And I'm like, all right, did you, you know, drink something cold, eat something, you know what I'm saying, like some sugar, you know what I'm saying, went through like the whole process of like, you know what I'm saying, when
Stuff
you were
taught.
like, oh, the baby's not moving as much.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, go through that whole process. Then you're like, oh, okay, like I feel.
Yeah.
So it's like, cool. I asked you, and you're like, yes, I did all that. Yes, I did all that. And then you're like, I'm going to the hospital. So I'm like, dang, I got to go. So I go back to the table, and I'm like, Summer's on the way to the hospital. Well, they were like, what's wrong? Because I'm like trying to like figure out like what I'm about to do. You know me, like when I get to like thinking, I'm like trying to figure it out. And I'm like, they're like, what's wrong with you? Like your whole mood done changed. And I'm like, Summer said she's on the way to the hospital. They're like, their first thought was, oh, she having a baby. And I'm like, I don't know. You know what I mean? So they like, so I start looking for flights or whatever, trying to figure out like, all right, like how I'm gonna get back. And then I'm like, I can't find nothing sooner. So then, you know what I'm saying, some time went by, you call me back again. And then that's when you told me like, oh, like they can't find the heartbeat. And then you were like, basically told me like, oh, they said we lost the baby. I'm still there. So I think I was talking to Ryan or Mike, and I told one of them, and then they was like, bro, what? So like the whole mood changed for everybody. Cause I mean, you think of brunch. I mean, not brunch, day party. Like we got hookah, we got the drinks. You know, we having a good old time, and it's like it kind of like brought like, you know, everything down. So I left out, and I went outside, like, you know, like kind of like a situation where you don't really know what to do, or like I'm in Texas, I don't know nobody, I don't know where I'm going. So I walked out it wasn't a bar, but it wasn't a club. It was like a restaurant. Walked out the restaurant, and I went and like across the street and like, you know what I'm saying, on the phone with you or whatever like that. And then next thing you know, like they left and they came out looking for me. And then they were like, dang, so what you about to do? So I called an Uber. I think I called an Uber to the airport. And I'm at the airport super early. My flight not till like 8 o'clock that night. But I'm like, I felt like I got to try to get back sooner. But I wasn't able to. And then, you know what I'm saying, once I got back, I mean, honestly, like, yeah, I had some drinks. I was on the plane. I went to sleep. When I got on the plane, I woke up, I was in D.C.
So when I told you, like, he's gone, you had drinks?
No.
Oh.
This is already, like, leading up to that.
Oh, so you were cooked?
No, I didn't say that.
Oh.
I would have said that.
Use tips.
I would have said that. I had some drinks. That's what I said.
You had some drinks.
I said what I said.
Okay.
No, but yeah, so it was like, once it was like you told me, it was like me trying to figure out like how I'm about to get back. So it was like trying to, you know what I'm saying, get to the airport, trying to, you know, get back home and everything like that. So, but when you told me, you know, I'm like, nah, that can't be true. Like, God ain't about to do that to us. You know what I'm saying, right now. And, you know, so, yeah, like, I was just like, nah. But, you know, even once I got back and, you know, I came home or whatever like that, and I could kind of, like, feel, like, you know what I'm saying, like the baby moving or whatever. But, you know, that's when they were like, oh, that's kind of like
phantom kicks.
Yeah, phantom kicks. But I'm like, nah, like I feel like the baby moving.
Well, yeah, because when I was in the hospital, I said the same thing, because on the monitor, I saw like his chest moving, and they were like, no, it's like, it's a phantom like movement. Like he's not there. Like literally there's no sound. Right. And, I guess it made me emotional because I never knew what was going on. It was like putting myself like back in that right. moment, because I didn't know what was going on the other end.
Right.
So it's like reliving it, but now knowing the other like part. I didn't know.
No, for sure. But even like, you know what I'm saying, I thought about it, and I was just like, you know, like when I was on a plane, I'm like, why would they let her go home at that point? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking like at that point, like, let's get the baby out as fast as possible.
So,
you know what I mean?
I know that a lot of people would probably wonder the same thing you did, you
right.
know, in that moment. But my midwife, she had experience in something like this before.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she lost her own child, but not in that way. But she had other clients,
Right.
Before. I mean, it happens, you know. So it's not like the most everyday thing or the most common, but it does happen. So she knew there was a certain window of time, and she knew that this hospital wasn't experienced.
Okay.
And she knew that that whole department was very new. They had never had a stillbirth case ever. So she didn't want me in their hands with their inexperience.
Okay.
Though they have their degrees and all of that, she just didn't want me to be like a guinea pig.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
I understand that.
And she had already, but this was her field. So like she already knew where I was, because I went to the nearest hospital to the house, like not the hospital I would have had the baby at or anything like that. Just the nearest place, really just to kind of.
Well, you didn't plan on having the baby at the hospital.
And I didn't. I planned on having a water birth at a birthing center because my pregnancy was normal up until then. They never checked me for anything that could have caused a death.
Right.
And so I learned a lot about my body. I learned a lot about maternal health. I learned a lot about speaking up.
And you learned about some things that helped us with the second pregnancy.
Yeah. And a lot of standing up and advocating for myself and for our baby, because it just really it eats me up inside, because I believe that doctors have their place, and people, some of them are blessed, have blessed hands and minds, and they're able to facilitate their jobs the way that they should. But there are some that are very careless. They don't have great bedside manner. They really don't care. They treat you like another body. And I feel like Black women get the short end of the stick a lot of times. And just to know that all of the things that I went through in my first pregnancy that I had to carry into my second, just to try to make sure I survived and the baby. And granted, I'm not God, so like God carried us through that, but he gave me wisdom, you know. And so I'm just so thankful. Like I'm just so thankful, like the angels that he placed in the room when I was having Winter, because I had to get induced again.
Well, we still got to go back.
Yeah,
we still on the first one.
We're getting off on a tangent. Hold on. Okay, yeah, you know that maternal health be getting me. So anyway, yeah. So to go back, all right. So you get the phone call that he's no longer here.
Right.
I'm in the hospital. They're letting me go. You didn't get to experience that time with me. Did you ever feel any type of regret that you weren't there?
I wouldn't say that I felt any regret, because who would have been thinking that something like that would have happened?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I'm about to take this quick little trip to support a friend.
Yeah.
I'm about to come back home, and we about to, go rock out and get to where we need to get to. Like, so I don't regret not being there, because it's not like, oh yeah, that was something that was planned to happen.
Yeah.
But for one, I definitely knew like it was real. I never told you this either. When I walked in the house and your mom was standing in the kitchen in the dark. Yeah.
What?
And like I saw her face, like how you can see somebody, because like the light in the hall was on, but I could see her standing. Like when I got closer, I could like see her face, and I'm like, that's when it was like, oh, this is real.
Yeah. But you
and then remember I came upstairs and I tried to, because we had a baby shower not too long before that,
like 2 weeks before, and
I had just got the video from remember
that day.
Yeah, I had just got the video from the baby shower. And I remember I'm like, no, like I feel the baby moving.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, thinking like, oh, like, all right, let me show Summyr this. Like, this is going to cheer her up. And I mean, this is what I was thinking.
No, I'm just.
And then when I showed it to you, you just like hollered and just broke down. Like, you know, I've heard you holler and scream before when you upset and all that kind of stuff, but it was different. It was different, and it was like I could tell, like, you know, like, yeah.
Yeah. But what was interesting is that you kept denying that he was gone. You were like,
Facts.
You were like, no.
Yeah.
No. We're just going to keep
why
believing that he's here.
Yeah, why would somebody want to believe that their child is no longer there?
I know.
Especially, like, you rubbing the belly, you playing songs, that connection is starting to be built prior to the baby being here. Well, not being here, but coming out into this world. 'Cause the baby's already here, you know. You feel the baby moving, you know, all that kind of stuff. So it was like, no. The devil's a lie.
Devin was like, we about to get on our knees and pray. He was like, Anytime anybody was like, okay, you know, because he's gone, they'll leave out the room. He like, anyway, so he's still here. Like, they don't know what they're talking about.
No, it's like the whole
gave
time.
me like a new burst of hope, because I was like, dang, he really believed this. Okay, let me try to believe this too.
I'm super positive, and it's like, if you let somebody else into your mind, and like change the way that you thinking, like, you gonna, like, no, I'm not about to let you do that until I see for myself. I don't believe it.
Yeah. So
because the baby could have came out, they could have slapped the baby on the ass, and the baby.
That's true, because there have been stories like that. So like, my mom showed me a video of a lady, and that happened. Her baby came back to life. So when she showed me that, and then you were holding on to hope, I think the very next day or the day after that, I had a new attitude. I was like, oh, we gonna rock with hope. Like, I'ma just believe for the craziest miracle I can, and if he could do it for that woman, he could do it for us. That might have happened 9-10 years ago, but maybe we about to be a miracle story. And I just kind of held on to that. Like, when you came in that night, I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
Because even, like, you know what I'm saying, like, going to the hospital, because, like, the induction process, was that like 5 days, 4 or 5 days?
Yeah, it took 5 days.
And, like, people probably don't understand, like, even if you have a stillbirth, like, and that baby's still inside of you, like, you still have to give birth. You still have whether they give you a C-section and cut the baby out, or you have to push the baby out yourself. You still have to. And in our case, Summyr was in there grunting and screaming, pushing that baby out.
Pushing that baby out.
And, you know, it was one of those things where it's like, we had some doctors come in, and those doctors, you know, one particular man basically was just like, I mean, like, we could just cut you open and take the baby and, like, you know, send you on your way. And I'm in the hospital, but I'm like, bro, like, what, you know?
He made you want to fight for real. Like, first of all, his whole shift, he never came by.
Yeah.
Like, I had to ask the nurse, like, is he gonna come check on me? Like, what's going on with the process? You know, are we gonna up the dosage? Because they gave me Cytotec to get my cervix ripened, to trick my body into going into labor. And so nothing was like really progressing at this point. I had come to like a standstill, maybe on like day 4.
And
and he came into the room all nonchalant, like, and he was like, what do you want me to do? I said, well, you tell me. You're the doctor.
So he's like,
and he was like, I mean, well, I guess I could just cut you open if that's what you want to do. You want to get a C-section? Whoa, what you mean, do I want to get a C-section? Like, first of all, the circumstances are so fragile right now. And you're talking to me like,
to the situation.
Yeah, no compassion. You're talking to me like I'm just another body. Like, I'm just taking up space in the hospital bed. Like,
so we was like, we about to wait this man out. Wait till his shift is over.
I was ready to walk out. At that point,
he was ready to, but it was like, we gonna wait him out.
Yeah, but at that point, Devin and my mom were in the room, the hospital room, but like, they went silent, and I was like, I don't feel safe with this man. Like, if I went into labor under him, I might not make it.
Right.
And I was like, I gotta go. And then I just sat there and I was just so furious and in tears. And I was like mad at God at this point. Like me and him had exchanged some words before, but again, I got mad again. And I was like, bruh, I remember thinking in my mind, I see how people turn the other way. And I sat there and I saw like a vision of a road. And it literally was like, you can go this way or you can go this way. And I was like, dang, I just can't turn my back on God. Like, I believe he's going to pull me through this. Like, there's just, I'm not going to walk away. Like, and I just kept praying. I was just like, all right, you got to give me the right, show me what to do, tell me what to do. And I just sat there. I decided instead of making a rash decision, let me just sit still and wait.
And be still.
And I did. And eventually he got off of his shift, and then we found out my nurse that I liked was coming back, and this new doctor was coming. And I was like, Lord, let me go into labor under their care. Yeah. And that woman came in and whipped that whole team into shape. Remember that? Yeah,
because a couple of those nurses was just like, I guess because it had been a couple of days, they was like tired of us.
Yeah, because the reason it was so slow, my midwife had wrote a birth plan for me still, and it was a gentle plan so that my body didn't undergo too much. I mean, it's already a lot of stress on your body, but she made it such a gentle process so that it could feel as natural as it could under those circumstances. And I appreciate that because I learned a lot from that. And I believe my body responded the way that it wanted to. And it just so happened it took 5 days. But yeah, some of those nurses, they could have got these hands.
But think about going through a situation like this, and think about people that are no longer around.
Yeah.
Think about that, like going through a tough situation in life, and next thing you know, it's like people start disappearing in your life.
Yeah, it's always like major moments in life, whether it's life or death, that show you who people are. And sometimes it's not like this person is a bad person, but more so this person's season in your life is done. Like, they have to go now. Like, they can no longer finish your life ride, and that's okay. It's just, and it sucks, but some people, and then another part of it is some people just might not have the maturity, the mental maturity to handle something like this. Like, mental it is hard. Capacity. Mental capacity. That's what I was looking
I know that's what you're going to. But I was like, let me let you figure it out.
Okay, all right. Mental capacity. But yeah.
But we both lost people.
We did.
You know what I'm saying?
We did. Some people don't have the mental capacity to understand or hold space for it, and it is what it is. But it's kind of like in these times, it's kind of when you need people to come close, draw closer to you. And I found that we had people that weren't as close draw closer.
For sure.
Like, those people stood up. So as certain people did tend to migrate out, other people migrated in. Right. And it's almost like God kind of reshifted the atmosphere. Like, okay, now this is who is going to be around. You know what I'm saying? Right. And they'll move forward with you in your next season of life. And I didn't expect certain people. And I'm so grateful though. Like, I'm just so grateful. And I'm not even upset with the people that we lost, because it's just, I hope that they're thriving and doing well, but it just is what it is.
For sure. Mm-hmm. So where can people get your book to get more insight on this?
Yeah, so the book it really details the entire story. From the time I found out, from before pregnancy, through pregnancy, up until the tragic event of losing our son, until present day. So You can find it on Amazon. And you just type in No Love Lost. And it should be the second book that pops up. Maybe the first. But yeah. Just type in No Love Lost. You'll see this cover. You'll see my name by Summer Wright Nelson. And you can order the book. You don't like me to tell people that it's on Kindle, but it is on Kindle as well. Also in paperback. I'm going to do an audio version at some point. But right now you can get it in paperback and on Kindle. So yeah. Go grab your book.
All right.
Support Black authors.
Support my beautiful wife, Summertime. And then make sure you guys, follow us.
Yep.
Like and subscribe. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram.
All that. Wait, we haven't. What is one thing that you want to know about me and I want to know about you? How we end this?
One thing I want to know about you?
Yeah,
I want to know your name, man. I want to know if you got a man.
That's it?
That's it.
All right.
What you want to know?
I just want to know what you eating. Like, what you on this week?
So I'm on some...
What's your health kick?
Some grilled chicken, some broccoli, some rice, some sweet potatoes, some salmon. Real clean this week.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to drop weight because, our last episode, she said her celebrity crush was Michael B. Jordan. So I guess I got to get some muscles now.
And Creed.
I got to get some muscles now.
No, be yourself, babe.
About to get some
you don't
muscles.
need to change. But I do want you to be healthy. So yeah. Okay, so that's what you're constantly growing through. That's gonna be how we end this. Like that's what you're constantly growing through. You're growing through your health journey. Got it.
Dang, we on the same page. What are you constantly growing through?
My mindset.
Your mindset?
Yeah. I'm constantly shifting it and just working on just not letting my thoughts overtake me. But I think, to be honest, the more I read the Bible, the better my mind has become.
Okay.
Yeah. So I read that book. Yeah.
Y'all go read that.
Go read that book.
But again, we're the Constantly Growing Podcast. Like, subscribe, follow. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Constantly Growing Pod.
All that.
We out of here. Peace.